So you want to be an elite defensive back. Well, you're not going to get there without having these three things in your toolbox. We're going to talk about it today in DB Tip Clips. As you can imagine, I often get asked for tips on playing defensive back. And I'm at a loss for words most of the time when I'm doing that because there are a lot of factors that are involved in playing defensive back. After all, this is not shooting baskets or pool or throwing horseshoes. But I do know this, you gotta have these three things in your toolbox if you're gonna excel as a defensive back. Number one, you gotta have a short memory. Maybe you've heard that before, but it is actually true. Listen, you're gonna get beat playing this game. I don't care who you are. The more you play, the better competition you play against, the more you're gonna have opportunities to get beat by the wide receivers. You know, they get paid too. They're on scholarship too. And if you're in high school, they're trying to go to college too. So if you've made a career out of covering guys that are no good, then maybe you don't understand what I'm talking about. You also won't really have those opportunities to go to the next level or even excel at it if you're lucky enough to get there. But if you've been playing against the best of the best, you're gonna give up some passes and you're gonna give up some touchdowns. You know what has to happen? You've got to delete that out of your head as quickly as possible because the next play is coming. The next series is coming. The next game is coming. And if you dwell on the play that happened right before or the game that happened right before, chances are you're gonna have yourself a problem in the next play or the next game or even the next season. You've gotta have a short memory. So, understand what happened in the play that allowed that catch to happen and then delete it out of your memory as quickly as possible. All of the great defensive backs that have played this game have that right there, a short memory. Number two is you got to have a competitive spirit. Some of the biggest trash talkers, the biggest competitors on anybody's football field are going to be those defensive backs. And if you're a wide receiver, you definitely know what I'm talking about. But all of that trash talk comes most of the times from a guy being a tremendous competitor. You've got to want to win at everything you've set foot to. You're putting your best foot forward each and every time you step on that field, each and every play, and you don't want to lose at anything. And you know how you develop that spirit? It's not just in playing football, it's in everything that you do. If you're playing chess, if you're playing a video game, if you're in a race, even in the classroom, you don't want to finish second in anything. The way you develop that on-field competitive spirit is by adapting it to everything that you do in your life. If it's a competition and they're keeping a score and there's a winner and a loser, you're trying to be the winner. You're trying to have the highest score. You're trying to be the best at each and everything you do. You develop that spirit and everything. Once you get to that football field, it'll be a second nature. And that's going to make you one heck of a defensive back. Again, the best guys that have played this game, the guys that are in the Hall of Fame and have the gold jackets and got all the interceptions and made it to all the Pro Bowls and were 5-star and college football All-Americans, I can guarantee you that every last one of them had a tremendous competitive spirit. You're not trying to let a guy win at anything. So when you're in one-on-ones, it's not okay for that guy to catch the ball. Go do what you got to do. And once you figure out how it is you need to go make those plays, then you've got to do it. And it's not going to be okay for guys to catch balls. Take it hard. You do need to have a short memory about it, but the next time you line up in front of that guy, you got to be giving it 100% every time you line up in front of a guy. Finally, number three, great instincts. You kind of got to know where that football is going, where that wide receiver is going to stem his route to, where he's going to end up, and where that play is going. You know how you do that? By studying a ton of film, studying your playbook, knowing where not just you are supposed to be, but where every guy on your defense is supposed to be. But the more ball that you watch, the more cerebral you get. And by cerebral, I mean you just see things happen and you have this instinct, this thing that's operating in the back of your head that kind of tells you where that ball is going to be. And then you go about getting there. Haven't you noticed that about some guys? Guys like Tyrann Mathieu, guys like Xavier Howard, guys like, Ed Reed, who played in the past and have had a lot of production in this game. They just have these great instincts. And again, the guys that have been the best, know where that ball is going to be, and they believe what they see. When they get that clue from the offense, from that wide receiver, or from that quarterback, or even from the offensive lineman that they're watching, they believe it, they go there, and they make the play. It's all about instincts, and you only get that by studying this game excessively. So some of the hours you spend doing some other things like playing video games and being on social media, start diverting some of that time towards studying the game. Just even watching games in total, watching videos on YouTube, listening to some of the greats talk about their process and how they go about playing the game, and studying it will help you develop those instincts on your own. Now when you get on the field, things just start happening. Sometimes you won't even be able to explain it. It's just all those hours of studying and paying attention to the game has given you those instincts, and those are the things that are operating in the back of your head without you even thinking about it when you're on that football field. It's like there's another force just moving you towards the play, and you just end up being that guy who's always around the football. That's the guy that you want to be.